Shalom. This is Hawud. So this is part 2. This is chapter 2, Kolbrin Bible. This is the birth of man. Alright. I hope y'all enjoyed what I read the first time, because I really did. I enjoyed it so much. I had to do another part. Alright, here we go. The love of God penetrated the third veil and became the seed of souls within the soul sea. The body of man God made of water and things of the earth, breathing into him the spirit of life, that he might live. But man, when young, lived only to eat and drink, and to fornicate, for being conscious only of the earth, he knew only earthly things and earthly ways. Now the Spirit of God moved over the face of the earth, but was not of the earth. It held all things, and was in all things, but on earth could not be apart from anything without substance. It was awake, but entering substance it slept. Consider that which was told by the servants of Eben, of heaven man, who once wandered the earth. He had no earthly substance, and could not grasp its fruit, for he had no hands. He could not drink its water, for he had no mouth, nor could he feel the cool winds upon his skin. They tell how the 8 tribes, Selach, led by the heaven man, perished by flames before the valley of Lod. Only one she-ape reaching the cave heights above. The heaven man was reborn of the she-ape. Well, alright. Alright, wrong way. Okay. When heaven man was reborn of the she-ape in the cavern of woe, could he taste the fruits of the earth, and drink of her waters, and feel the coolness of the winds? Did he not find life good? It is not all a tale of the courtyard. Man created from earthly substance alone could not know things not of earth, nor could spirit alone subdue him. Had man not been created, who would have known God's wisdom and power? As the spirit fills the body of man, so does God fill his creation. Therefore, it was that God saw something had to be which joined earth and spirit, and was both. In his wisdom, and by the creative impulse which governs the earth, he prepared a body for man, for the body of man was wholly of earth. Behold, the great day came, when the Spirit, which is God, was joined with the beast, which is earth. Then earth withered in the labor of travail. Her mountains rocked back and forth, and her seas heaved up and down. The earth groaned, and her lands and her shrieked in her winds. She cried in the rivers and wept in her storms. So man was born of upheaval and strife He came wretchedly and tumultuously, the offspring of the distraught earth. All was in. Discord. Snow fell in the hot wastelands. Ice covered the fertile plains. The forests became seas. Where once, where once it was hot, now it was cold, and where no rain had ever fallen, now there were floods. So man came forth, the child of calamity, man, the inheritor of creative struggle, man, the battleground of extremes. Earth nurtured man with cautious affection, weaning him in the recesses of her body. Then, when he was grown sufficiently to be lifted up so he walked in the uprightness of God, she took him and raised him above all other creatures. She led him even into the presence of God, and she laid him on his great altar, a man perfect of earthly limitations, a thing unfinished, ungainly, and unlearned. But proudly was he presented to earth's creator. Not her firstborn was man, the sons of earth, the grandson of God. Man, the heir of tribulation, and the pupil of affliction. God saw man, the offering of the earth, to her Lord, unconsciously, on the high altar, a sacrifice to him, and a dedication to the spirit of faith. Then from out of the unfathomable heights, and from behind the impenetrable veil, God came down above the altar, and he breathed into man the breath of eternal life into his sleeping body. Did I get that right? Yeah. All right. God implanted a fragment of himself, the seed of a soul, and the spark of divinity, a man. The mortal became man, the heir of God, and the inheritor of immortality. Henceforth, he would have dominion over God's earthly state, but he also had to unravel the circles of eternity, and his destiny was to be an everlasting seeking and striving. Man slept, but God opened the great eye within him, and man saw a vision of unsurpassed glory. So for whoever said that your third eye ain't supposed to be open, you're lying, because it's telling you right here. And also, if you didn't know, our third eye had always been open since when we were born. The other people's third eye isn't open because it's calcified. So this is why we're so spiritual. And some of us can see other things. All of us have gifts, but yeah. So just know, it's always been open. All right. Unsurpassed glory. He heard the voice of God saying, "O man, in your hand is now placed the tablet of your inheritance, and my seal is upon it. Know that all you desire within your heart may be yours, but first it is necessary that you be taught its value. Behold, the earth is filled with things of unusefulness." Of usefulness. They are prepared to your hand for a purpose, but the task is upon you to seek them out and learn their use. This is the tuition for the management of your inheritance. what you know to be good, seek for it, and it shall be found. You may plumb the seas and pluck the stars. You may live in everlasting glory and savor eternal delights. Above and below, and all about, there is nothing beyond your reach. All, with one exception, is yours to attain. Then God laid his hand upon man, saying, Now you are even as I, except you sleep there enclosed in... Oh, wait a minute. What was that? Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on. There enclosed matter in the kingdom of illusions, while I dwell here in the freedom of reality. The truth, it is not for me to come down to you, but for you to reach out to me. Man then saw a vision of glory encompassing even the spheres of splendor. Unbounded wisdom filled his heart, and he beheld beauty and perfection. The ultimates of truth and justice were unveiled before him. He became one with the profound peace of eternity, and he knew joys of unceasing gladness. The eternal ages of time unrolled as the scroll before his eyes, and he saw written thereon all that was to become and occur. The great vaults of heaven were opened up unto him, and he saw the everlasting fires and unconsumable powers that strove therein. He felt within himself the stirring of unexpressible love, and unlimited design of grandeur filled his thoughts. His spirit ranged unhampered through all the spheres of his existence. He was then even as God himself, and he knew the secret of the seven spheres within three spheres. Then God lifted his hand from man, and man was alone. The great vision departed, and he awoke. Only a dim and elusive recollection, no more than a shadow of a dream, remained. Deep within the sleeping soul, there was a spark of remembrance, and it generated within man a restlessness longing, for he knew not what. Henceforth man was disdained to wander, discontented, seeking something he felt he knew but could not see, something which continually eluded him, perpetually what was that? How'd that happen? This phone crazy, y'all. Sorry. Perpetually goaded him, and forever tantalizing him. Deep within himself, man knew something greater than himself was always with him, and part of him spurring him on to greater deeds, greater thoughts, greater aspirations. It was something out beyond himself. What was that word? Scarcely realized and never found. Something which told him that the radiance, the radiance seen on the horizon, but dimly reflected the hidden glory beyond it. Man awoke. The revelation and vision gone. Only the grim reality of earth's untamed vastness surrounded him. But when he arose, he stepped down onto the bosom of his mother earth, he was undaunted by the great power that beset him, or by the magnitude of the task ahead. Within his heart, he knew destiny lay beyond this squalor of his environment. He stepped out nobly, gladly, accepting the challenge. He was now a new man. Alright, he was different. He looked above and saw glory in the heavens. He saw beauty about him, and he knew gladness. Alright. Oh, hold up, y'all. Give me a second to plug my phone up. Oh, God. My battery down to 15%. Sorry. Hold up. I'm looking. Hold on, guys. Sorry. Alright, let's keep it moving. In things not of earth, the vision of eternal values arose before his inner eye. His spirit was responding to its environment. Man was now man, truly man. The nature of man on earth was formed after the nature of things in heaven, and man had all things contained as potential within himself, except divine life. But he was as yet an untrained, undisciplined child, still nurtured simply upon the confronting bosom of earth. I said comforting. I'm tripping. Comforting bosom of earth. Man grew in stature, but earth was not indulgent, for she disciplined him firmly. She was ever strict and unyielding, chastening him, often with blasts of displeasure. It was indeed the upbringing of one disdained for greatness. He was made to suffer cold, that he might learn to clothe himself. Sent into barren places, that his limbs should be strengthened, and into the forests, that his eye should become keen, and his heart strong. He was perplexed with difficult problems, and set a task of unraveling the illusions of nature. He was beset with the hardships of every description. He was tested with frustrations and tempted with allurements. Never did earth relax vigilance of her supervision. The child was raised sternly, for he needed hold on. See, now listen to this. You ain't get none of this in Genesis, right? This is a whole lot more, ain't it? Fortitude, courage, and cunning of a man. To fit him for the task ahead, he grew wildly and weary in the hunt. He became adaptable, able to cope with any untoward happening, overcoming the bewilderment of early days. He found explanations for the perplexities of his surroundings. Yet the struggle for knowledge, the need for adoption, and the effort to survive were never relaxed. The earth child was well trained and disciplined. He was never unduly mollycoddled. He cried for bread and went hungry. He shivered and he was cast out. He was sick and was driven into the forest. Weary, he was lashed with storms. Thirsty, he found the waters dried up. When weak, his burden was increased, and in the midst of rejoicing, he was struck down with sorrow. In moments of weakness, he cried enough and doubt his destiny, but always something fortified and encouraged him. Oh wow, hold on, y'all. I tripped. I did something stupid. Alright. What was I saying? Cried enough and doubt his destiny, but always something fortified and encouraged him. The earthling never fortified his godlikeness. For man was man. He was not cowed, nor his spirit broken. A wise God knew his limitations. As it is written in the wisdom of men, over the chastisement is as bad as no chastisement at all. But man was rarely chastised. He was tried, tested, and challenged. He was led, prodded, and urged. Yet nothing was done unnecessarily. The seeming imperfections of earth, the hazards of the equalities of life, and the cruelty. Sick and driven. Wait a minute. Sorry, I think I read this already, y'all. Sorry. Maybe I didn't. Hold on. Oh, man. No, I didn't. Earth perfect repose. Mates up here. Perfect. Hold on. Alright, so I see what I did, but I gotta find where I left off. I'm gonna just start here. But man was rarely chastised, for he was tried, tested, challenged. He was led, prodded, and urged. Yet nothing was done unnecessarily. The seeming imperfections of earth, the hazards and the equalities of life, the cruelty, harshness, and apparent indifference to suffering, the affliction are not what they seem, as it is. Earth is perfect for its purpose. It is ignorance of that purpose which makes it appear imperfect. Where is there a wiser father than the Spirit of God, or a better mother than earth? What man is now he owes to these. May he learn to be duly grateful. Above all, let him never forget the lessons learned in his upbringing. Dang, man. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna let y'all be, because I'm ready to do it the other one. But it's getting to that time. I gotta get ready for work. But yo, I hope y'all enjoyed that, man. I'm gonna try to jump on this thing again. I couldn't get to the one with the Bible, but I'm gonna try to do it today when I get off, okay? But I hope y'all enjoyed that, man. I really do, because I definitely did. Shalom.